Good morning, kiddos. We're going to talk about EPA 608 pressure temperature chart that you're allowed to have during the test. There's some vital information on the EPA 608 pressure temperature chart that you're allowed to have during the test. There's quite a bit of good information that will help you answer some of the questions that you may see on the test. Let's start with the very top of the pressure temperature chart. Up here, you see low pressure refrigerant, medium pressure refrigerant, and it even color codes it to show you which ones are medium pressure refrigerants and which ones are low pressure refrigerants. For instance, these three are low pressure refrigerants. These, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven refrigerants here are medium pressure refrigerants. And the next, on the back side, it shows you all these refrigerants here are high pressure refrigerants. And this one shows you the one that I've been telling you is a very high refrigerant, right? It also tells you it's carbon dioxide, and it's 744 and has really no flammability, and it's got a really low global warming potential. If you'll notice, this chart also gives you for each refrigerant the global warming potential. It also gives you the toxicity and the flammability rating for each one of these types of refrigerants, right? It also kind of gives you an idea of which refrigerants have blend refrigerants, which can have temperature glide or fractionation potential, all right? So again, up here at the top, it tells you if it's a low pressure refrigerant or a medium pressure refrigerant. It tells you its toxicity and flammability rating, and make sure you pay attention to the ones that says A2L. This could answer some questions for you on the test. The A2L over here on this one here. So you may want to notice some patterns about the slightly flammable refrigerants. Notice what type of refrigerant, HFO. All three of them are HFOs. All right. This also tells you which refrigerants are CFCs or HCFC or HFO. All right. Matter of fact, this one right here, the hydrocarbon is R600A. This one is the one that's used in new appliances like new refrigerators and all. They're using this type of refrigerant. This is the O type. But if you'll notice, HFC, the last letter means carbon, which is a high global warming potential. All right. HCFC has, low global warming potential. CFC, ooh, man, it shows to have a really high global warming potential, doesn't it? So it has a lot of possibility of answering questions on the test that you may see. I mean, it gives you a lot of information at the top. Again, there's maybe some questions over. They'll give you a refrigerant, but it won't tell you if it's a high pressure or medium pressure or a very high pressure refrigerant. So you can use this chart to determine which refrigerant it is. And then you could answer questions like if it's a high pressure refrigerant like 410 and it's less than 200 pounds, then the vacuum rate for that refrigerant, if it's less than 200 pounds, would be what? 0, right? But if it was more than 200 pounds, the answer would be 10. So see how this, okay, it told me it's a high pressure. So less than 200, it's a 0, and more than 200, it's 10 inches of vacuum, all right? For instance, if they gave you a medium, the same way. But hey, let's say, okay, 134A, all right? What is its vacuum rate? and it says it's got more than 200 psi. I mean more than 200 pounds of refrigerant. Okay, so it's medium. It's more than 200. So that would be 15 inches of vacuum. So it can help you answer those questions. Also, there could be questions over which refrigerants or give you a refrigerant and ask you which one of those refrigerants is slightly flammable. Well, you see, there's 3 right here, and they're HFOs. They may give you a list of refrigerants and ask you which one's a HFO. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can use this pressure temperature chart to answer test questions. One of the main things you need the main reason for the pressure temperature chart is answer questions that relate to the pressure temperature chart. For instance, they may give you a refrigerant like, let's say, R22. It may say that R22 at 80 degrees, what is the pressure? Which would be 144 or around 144. The answer should be very close to 144, or actually 144. Or they may say R22 at 156 psi, what's the temperature? And the answer would be 85 degrees. But they could do that with any one of these refrigerants over here, okay? So notice on the pressure temperature chart, it also gives you the temperatures on both sides of it to help you have it close enough to the whichever refrigerant you're looking at. For instance, they're all the same on both sides. It's just that it just makes it convenient for you to be able to read it. So the reds on each side of it is temperature, and everything in between those are pressures. So hopefully this was some help for you. If you have any questions, give me an email.